evening, everybody. My name is Sekwesi Adeduna. Sewoti Helebanja Nanahemaa for me. Now this week he and Sema Koswagana no the UBC Esewini and Sewo Kachere. People boni now so na me yi mato me boy yi mu makuma for the sorting. One who send and come on, you didn't be. So if you just tune in, make sure you don't move your dial because it's your number one radio station in London. That radio station, obviously, and the crown friend. Not your dear friend and Nanahemaa show aware. Nasanya the BI at the end, look now what she a quagan, a meboshi, Venus, or him a crum. If we had your well ragan and you river all the regions, then some will coach bear. Bedini na bebro, minima bigger for. Walla bolo, na pensem mua, also to be friend. I watch Abolo, na ene a bigger for or Betsy or Monka and Miami headmaster. Ayo who just bones when I was a as usual, man, cool it down hat a yes, and me honest waffle or no better than Mr. Nunu, my number one British garment, baby, I will be a Michelle. Mr. Emmanuel Ashley, your buyer, I am also baby, I will be a Michelle. It's here for the same name of your monka. Now, before we go on, Mammy Mound this week and your Marco saw a Ghana. I see also Bempa arrested, proved Ghana police is working. Yeah, themselves as of way the only yes, but it is to have. Is that the owns a Ghana law? No, is that the way of Ghana? You could to make you be and found and nay. Tons are old any prophecy I can see about them, but I never I say IGP don't pray fighting also member because of TB Joshua. And the story I call link with TB Joshua. Ghana the only story be about it to me the and then wins them here. I mean, what's so called when Nim Fanny Faso hard this week? Yantia Sempa. Ya name a papa koshe wadani benku papa obebu adwuma pa ewo international showbiz ya koga na mu papa and unfortunately this week papa the wakanji negu na me hwe ne last interview no na osi wo makuma level na de am interested in the crimes on one to chom to oze already we are and yet, and no, I see a queer name of the police service celebrate the Bono Ace anti-robbery task force. Also suspected kidnapping of missing pregnant women. Demand for ransom. You saw a Takradi. Some said bring back our girls at Takradi. This week yes, your baby at what fell through grad. There is there and yeah, we have lads I have been a double. Now yet, yes, Wayek arrested arrest key operators behind the rogue website. National security issue nationwide alert MMDCE. A announcement, the penny for me, you are gonna memory a penny. It's yes, you've been a brim, so do a less than this one. Why is there also who aka? I say our ding dong education system is a new strategic plan and Messiah. Accra Mayor nomination protest. A police hold disorder arrest for ringleader. Fine boy without brains can't be president of Ghana. Again, a boy and now Ghana fine boy bank cry can I sing. The crack crown of the minister's hand over confiscated Rosewood to the National Cathedral. Waiting Semper Brain so this week our Ghana ain't see and obey say a bit of 4 and can't number na the bay you mamma found to be procure the 0208 144 877 144 877. Ain't answer na ya did you be the university no member it's here for Achia, Mamma men fans that too. Yes, I mean, Mamma, a bigger for Achia. Is that some young tree, no one big dream, and we are not correcting. And so, good evening.
Good evening.
And how's your week been?
Very well, thank you.
And then shut that into Kayi Papa.
Yeah, good evening.
Things are getting better. Now, how's your week been?
My week has been okay. How's yours?
Yeah, this week it is. Yeah, checking mommy.
Yeah, well.
Into this week, how's your week been?
It's it's a juma. That sort of thing. So you get very busy and yeah, it's been one of those tiring and not stressful, but you now back to full time sort of thing. So, but
I said no, me meeting saying I was whiteboard for some time. Going back to work. I thought saying your mind. I remember you mentioned saying right now you need to go back to work.
Oh yeah, going back to work. Yes, obviously, it's work-life balance. It's very important. Every time we need to have that sort of balance.
But your MC microphone, mommy can look at
Yes,
Yo, Sammy,
yeah.
I think it's better now.
Okay. That's
And see, we'll see one casa because I thought at some point now what's in the feeds was why I bought. Getting to then beginning no I bought kakra, then getting to time or
oh,
something.
but I think so. Maybe you forgot. I think it's about last year when the lockdown was.
Last year, mom's
Yeah, when lockdown and more than maybe early part of this year and maybe and yes, working from home became such a difficult thing to. I think so. And yeah, but
this year, yeah,
I mean, the holiday you cannot make company because I'm swinging.
Oh, so
Yeah, Minyanka, there's an extension of it. Unfortunately, unfortunate, yeah. It's
human beings can never be satisfied.
Yeah, it depends on what satisfaction you're looking for. Some of us we have high expectations with satisfaction too. Yeah.
Sweetie.
Good evening.
Fine. What's your name?
Mate, one neighbor,
Nice.
And then the other thing, if you do, and I just say, and I show them my
Oh my God, who don't try.
And therefore, God could say that I'm a casual, but not sure you sure. All ban you know, I try to paint to you. What am I coming? And she said, oh, meaning, Mrs. I may pay rise. It's our market, no, I'm marking me. Yeah, most market be say, it drew on managers a pay rise. And I said, the boss. Now, how's your week been?
Oh, it's been great. I think I was in on, I came in on Saturday morning. I went back for about 6 hours and came back again. Yeah, I came back this morning. So it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah. Because my boss say pretty good.
Yeah.
It is a good. They're not saying good.
Yeah.
And then I'm communication. Now this week, one of the stories I would like to touch on. I see. Also, Bempa arrested proof Ghana police is working NDC MP. This has me. I was the retired police officer and politician Peter Lancheni Tubu says the arrest of the man of God associated with the ruling New Patriotic Party revealed Isaac Owusu-Bempah proves no one is above the law. According to him, Ghana for a while has for a while now has been deceiving itself about the development, but that has not been the case. If the law don't work, then we are not developing, and it has the law, and we have to allow the law needs to be worked basically. Now, I don't know. It's here for just to give you a little background of this story. No, say I am prophets. Sɔfo pastor agrada kɔnfo agrada story ne ba ɛna ɔne osu bɛ mpanya case ɛna twuma mi ntwe ne mante me ho ase bi a ɛbɛɛ mu ɛna agya ɛyɛ rev some de rev go de ɔmo mo powers ɛna agya ɔne ne nkɔfoɔ kɔ agrada ɔkɔtu ne so na Ghana ha sɛ ne nim sɛ mmara yɛ adwuma because asɔfoɔ no ɔmo ada dae akyɛ na wei na ɔmo kɔ a ɔmo akɔ trɛtee no ɛna sisi ade yɛbɛkye ɛyi ne nim sɛ reverend bɛyi deɛ nka reverend so deɛ ɔne holy spirit ne god the father god the son ne ɛyi nyinaa ka ho nso tumi kye no so meaning I know where you are coming from. I can just no I just I know I can
Where am I coming
predict
from?
where you be coming from. What is say ɛyɛ yɛakye ɔsɔfo bi yɛ ade a ɛnyɛ im sɛ yɛatena fie aka IGP hu nsɛm the last time we spoke about sɛ ɔnam traffic mu like an ordinary person bi a traffic mu odim kakra kɔpem time a ne time duyɛ na sisi a wate sɛ yi Ghana sofoɔ there's only you because they don't touch me yɛmfa nsɛ wote story
And yet,
What
Ghana,
was
Nana
your
first
initial
and
reaction?
say, yeah, and yet Ghana suffer in don't touch me. Some particular individuals who have basically aligned themselves with politics and politicians, and they feel that they have some kind of some extra powers. Be Emma or something like that. Said, if I specifically go to this specific case now, if you ask me, say how did I, felt about that? I mean, I felt say if from the all indications, the sort of things that I'm hearing, kind of reports I have, but if all those things are true quantity, then in for me, it feels say the some people or some persons have realized that enough is enough, and we need to let the law basically bite. And basically, I think say that is what is happening. But I'm saying this to on the caveat say whatever happens, is exactly what we expect it to happen. Because now we know, it's not a news for me to even indicate yes. Osu Bempa has been always, sleeping, in a very loose, sleeping with a lot of politicians and being in, especially mainly the New Patriotic Party, and he's always been it said, say, oh no, no, president, the prophet.
Mhm.
I remember when the president was in the position, or the prophecy that he was saying, and I also even remember when the president won the election, he went to also the Baptist church for Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving service, yeah.
Yeah, and so he has always associated himself with the politics of Ghana. But Enopodia is not much of a big problem for me because I mean, it's a democracy, and being the church leader doesn't necessarily imply, say, you can't associate yourself with any political party. I mean, nothing in our constitution actually says I want to be necessary. So it's within his rights, if he wants to do that. But now, the part that it creates problem, is the issue of rule of law because I think that is where also go back case, and not this specific one. Which is I'm looking at historical cases of near defamatory remarks that he's made and criminal remarks that he's made. I remember there was a point in time that he actually said, "Say President Mahama episode." The president Akufo-Addo, and that's not the only thing. It's also he come up with some weird things that you call prophecies and which are borderline criminality, And I haven't actually had the seen that he actually been taken serious. I mean, in terms of the law, working, even if it's no issue, say President Mahama and Nkrumah now go and seek for damages through defamation. For the police itself can initiate some sort of investigation in some of the wild allegations that is made. But those things has never ever happened. But you see, when it emboldens him, and rightly so, because he's president, has been in power for 4 years in the past and also in his fifth year now. So for all those time, nothing seems to be happening. And when you have these things continuously happening now, you feel that power. You feel say you are untouchable. And all these things that you see now, that the man is demonstrating is as a result of that. Because in the beginning, when these things started, we should the system should allow the law to work. But the system is not allowing it because people within the corners of power will not even permit anything like that. So I'm glad that it seems to me that someone is basically doing what it's meant to be doing in terms of his job. And for the fact that he was arrested, when I saw the video, which you also saw, no, and it's not even about the video, Nanka Sampo. Well, yeah, that is a bit of a serious thing. But after the video, he went on some wild interview on social media, and those interviews that he was granting, the interview were basically falling on a lot of things that he was saying about, there's something that he's basically possessing that it feels, and I use the word embodying him, and it's even more than that. And those statements that he made, on social media, and as a result of that, and of course sending his people to go and intimidate this lady, and all of that added together, is obviously what we expect instead the police should add. Nova Kaya, some time back, I think so when they nominated Dompare, they call him
Dampare.
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 And the president and basically appointed him for the IGP. I did make a statement, sir, and I'm hoping, so what has happened is as a result of his own not being pushed by anyone to do anything different, but Onwa as an Inspector General of Police looking at what is happening and allowing the law to work. So I had that hope, sir. He is very young. He has his own sort of philosophy and his own thinking. He might bring the sort of changes that we're looking for in the police service. And I feel, sir, this singular act of arresting supposedly the prophet of the president that is so politically aligned to the powers that be, for you to actually take the initiative, say the man has broken the law, allegedly broken the law, and therefore we're going to charge him with some kind of offense, and he was charged. We went to court. The court also system working. The court also look at the merits of the case. Decided say you do not warrant a bail for him to be even detained to. I mean, it was meant to be for a week, and he only got 3 days, and he, for some reason, he's now in bail. At least say there is a push towards what I refer to as the rule of law, and if we let the rule of law works, which it seems to me, say even if it's not the best now, something seems to be working now. Some of these charlatans that you see that have been emboldened by politicians, they will begin realizing, say, it is not about who you align yourself with in politics, but it's about whether the law that you are breaking can bite you. And when they know that the law can bite you, you see the toning down of some of the usual trends that you see on there. I mean, in all over social media right now, it's very surprising to say the fight that is going on social media is with more of religious people that are basically heading churches that are meant to be all forgiving and all forgetful and all of that, but they basically biting each other, like dog bite dogs, dog in on social media. So I'm very happy. This is one person that even if they put him there without giving him bail for whatever it is within the law, I will not sleep. I will lose sleep by it because the man has been one of those people that the moral fabric, the religious moral fabric of our society has gone down mainly because of people like Owusu Bempah. And it's long overdue, for him to be, the law should be biting towards him. Because to be quite honest with you, it's unfortunate. And this is why sometimes I kind of blame even the Christian community, because some things that are happening in the past, they stay silent on it. They feel like I said, or a man of God in tune to me.
Untouchable. So when he was being arrested, from what we've read, the church members, that there was kind of a clash.
The church members, I understand, because it's his church. The congregation will have to be supportive towards him. That is absolutely fine. So whatever it is that they do, they do it because in support of them. I'm not saying they should break the law, but I'm even talking the wider community of the Christian community. When they actually forcefully come out, if politicians do the way they put this the Presby moderator, what is his name again, Mr. Ashley? What kind of name? The way the energy that they actually use in criticizing politicians, but when someone from their own and they are a bit reluctant about speaking about these things, it's like it's a matter of spirituality, and you can't talk about spiritual things if you're also in a spiritual area. Otabel and all of them, they've all been quiet. They've not been saying what I'm expecting them to be saying, because the man has been tarnishing the image of Christianity, if you ask me, in my view, for a very, very long time. And he's been getting away with all these things for all this while.
Sammy, thank you very much. Let me move strictly to Mr. Emmanuel Ashley. I'm sure you know the topic we're touching on. It's here for Mr. Emmanuel Ashley. I join your studio. It is a share in Facebook. Me guest now more having so what's here so I bet to me I call Facebook now what joining now I share live or send your messages now be kind in a amount. It's Ashley. I remember say in this house here at the studio hall about the way a year Ghana president and a appointed IGP. Hence sometimes the way I'm more kind of I say pay loyalty to the president, hence the sitting government basically. Yeah, him say I IGP don't parry by ya kai say and chay biana about OD trafficking. And as I back up say also from what we've read, basically, has supported the MPP, knowing say obviously president President Kufuor ni shop one kasa. What's his story? Did it make you think that one now Ghana the rule of law I know that Sammy has touched on that, but based on our history, historically, said president, maybe IGP. Not this because of that, and you may be on or many people. But this time, do you think say and you're my best to me as son?
Nana, may I say, I'm saying, it's you for Joe. It's a wonderful moment. In fact, in my opinion, may share a bit of the videos of after the potential attack by Owusu Bempah or Agradaa and whatever. And I'll call it the kind of, exuberance. Or the by Betsina, not sorry, them, or not so for being interviewed. More what they would have done to the woman and all the stories. I'm like, wow. Are we in a banana republic? I was shocked to the core. But Nana, what actually gladdens my heart was the way the whole thing happened. Because from the information I have gathered, was policemen went to the house and they left him and came back home. Let me tell you something. I've heard police colleagues of mine, some in quite senior positions, who will tell you there are people in Ghana where they want Sakawa. What happens in the police services? You lose where you are.
They're untouchable.
They're untouchable, seriously. And I'll tell you, Agradaa was one they mentioned. Owusu Bempah was one they mentioned. I'm talking of barely 2 years ago. That's what it is. They mentioned, said there are people in Ghana, they are untouchables. As a policeman, Obi to me guys are chino, no akwa chino. But maybe I didn't forget it. Then when I saw the game playing, I was like, wow, what's going to happen this time? Because these are people who they are almost rock crack, and they confided in me. So you are going to lose your position. What is happening is to Nankpala baby you can't say more rebel from Accra straight. IGP at all now only choice. But this time round, what gladdens my heart was how the whole thing played out, because police by him said under that contest, said they were still in the old regime. So they came, look at him, and he spoke to them Opamo, and he came to brag about that in his church with Nasofo, but it's in Mata, Tanisa, other young guys. They were bragging. I'm like, wow. Then the IGP himself saw the video. I don't know what happened. That's the information I have. And then he gave a command for his arrest.
Hold on, mommy. Mommy, there's a little twist in the story.
Right.
And I would like to tap on what you think. It says the IGP Domprek fighting also Bempa because of TV Joshua. A year Dompre's aid alleged. A year and what kind of story? Yes. Or say yes. A year Bempa's aid alleged on a alleged a year or one a story about. Or say Charles Owusu, an aide to the Reverend Isaac Owusu Bempa, has alleged that the harsh experience that the battled by the preacher received whilst in police detention was because the previous pronouncement he made about another clergyman, Charles Owusu Bempa, while speaking on Angel FM morning show on September 16th, alleged Owusu Bempa unpalatable statement about the last Nigerian television evangelist, a year TV Joshua. Now, a story now just said, Opache said, because Owusu Bempa had spoken against his spiritual father who is a TV Joshua in the past, and in a year don't parry use that opportunity say I'll show you where the power lies. Like he said,
That is interesting. These are sort of funny things that Ghana. And in fact, I don't know whether there's any law between the assume not a criminal matter but a civil matter. No me prove exactly what also been pakaya and no IGP behave that way. I wish, I don't know, but I am saying their lawyers might be able to know better whether it's defamation or whatever, so that they can sue him, Charles Owusu or whatever in a civil court to come and defend that. However, continuation to me, this is absolute nonsense. It has nothing to do with the matter you're dealing with. You're dealing with matters of criminality. You are dealing with people. You call the issue a sort of misdemeanor, but in a criminal context. Right, so the could be fee attack no the fee. Now I can say so PA and could be
you defend yourself with your own ammunition.
That is the thing. You go there with guns. Nana intimimity say IGP. And my instruction say wow, am I hearing right? I couldn't believe it. But that tells you say, Nana, there be I'm kind of platform so. Say when we make our institutions work, Ghana has every law under the sun. UK work. You copy. Ghana law say you copy here. And you be but the institutions has not been working. The IGP for this time round, right, uses power as head of the institution and has made it work because institution know that whole that's the leadership or money institution I'm laws and work and work. That's what happens. This time around, I don't know, but I've got some funny information from social media. Said there was a call from the presidency, and that's why he was taken to police hospital. So fakey, your man in fakey, sorry, then found got to police hospital instead of better a can't back.
Is it not not interesting that all these prominent people, when they are arrested, this is not the first time we've heard, say, penny be, actually be, then they take them to the police hospital and they isn't that interesting?
No, it is very interesting. It's a very interesting conundrum, let me put it that way. But to me, at least, the fact say he's been somebody that has been arrested for just 1 minute. I call that counter back near the end. I am just excited about it because Nana, we have to make sure say what is good for the goose must be good for the gander. Ordinary opinion said, meaning a very professor said, or send a tree back or tree, or they actually not to prison. Only you now affect you be out, or not actually not to prison. Now, be a fast a sort of ordinary soldier sending to Aqua Pataki or no Obia and to country, be a gaffing. It has been going on for years.
I mean, the other two guys that were arrested in addition,
his assistants.
Yeah, are they still in or they almost all in more?
That is what I don't know at the moment. But to me, the fact say, yeah, to me, action for 2 minutes, they handcuff a gun inside. Whilst MPP is in power. And meaning, there was this story that came from, who was it? Is it one of the, is it General Secretary or something? Came out from MPP to come and say they still support him, though he's in prison, because that tells you, say, the IGP has taken a firm position. Let's play politics. I am not a politician. I am dealing with a criminal matter. And for that matter, the party can go on and give their support, whatever. Nobody's against that. I mean, one of their top end. I mean, is it Asamoah Boateng? I think, yes, it was Asamoah Boateng. Asamoah Boateng on Okoko Progressabi, yes. So they are supporting him and whatever. But to me, almost supporting them man 1 million. The only thing that gladdens my heart is say, yeah, to me, at least under a government where he's so prominent, he's been arrested by the laws of the country for once. That's what I'm grateful for.
WhatsApp radio.
It's here for Sawuti, and this is WhatsApp radio, #1 radio station in London. So, basically, I'll share your Facebook live WhatsApp radio. The same time, we call YouTube so I'll type it in WhatsApp radio so to me I'll share discussion the also ideas about make sure that do all your comments about numbers in the age 0208 144-8773 0208 144-8773. Do you think Ghana are we moving forward in terms of our rule of law under the leadership of Akufo-Addo? Because this year president pastor this year this week in who Mama say won't call me know your comments yes answer a year Facebook or comment section or audio message in the bar making kind of amount. Moving on to the next story, Aussie Police Service celebrate the Bono East anti-robbery a year task force. And say some in a submission, Eka said Ghana for sometimes young attitude crampono yana a bonkakra. Now you call Bono a year Bono East. Also the Bono East Regional Anti-Robbery Task Force is in the tops of the police administration following its work in the fight and all forms of robbery in the region. The administration in a Facebook post on Thursday said the task force led by the superintendent Al-Mayo Abbas Aye Karasi has paired in his aggressive operation in the area and other regions drastically reduced highway robbery and other serious offense in last month. This year, September, August, and I come was him. Their intelligence led the operation and historically cut across the region with the mounted presence and constant patrols on the routes of the Chichiman and Kintampo, Kimpe, New Konongo, and those areas. It's to say, Ghana, CCISA, a year task force. Omoye Jumapa. Story story ever happen no Ghana in Ghana situation in terms of kidnapping, armed robberies, koso. Na idea me interesting it's a story ni say we get timamu for ankasa timamu for. That story my main fan started war Samiso because and I want to touch with you because mention about the way Ghana for your attitude yes, sometimes and even yeah, sometimes religious leader said you and I say you we follow blindly. And even in that Christendom, religious leaders, Muslims, and all other people, we tend to follow once a leader. Now, a armed robbery case, they are interesting. They say, a year for I am mobilizing. Yet, fear I so much more. The way I got a security system, ye papa in him say, resourcing eka but wait dear, o matters fox na o my yama say armed robbery a year August muno. Or not breaking it down, a year road expansion and then break it down. What's your story? Do you think in terms of security, no? Yeah, quite a new man now, and I said this is just a drop in an ocean.
Oh, then I mean, to be quite honest, I don't know whether I mean the sustainability of things like that. When the community itself decides to,
Jack,
perhaps come
Utie,
together
what's up, radio?
and help with teachers with security. This is not anything new. I mean, some years back, I remember we started this. They call it a community neighborhood watch. I'm not sure if you remember.
It's a watchdog.
No, it's the community neighborhood watch. So most communities that you go, they have this sort of association where everyone looks after each other. This has been in the past, but usually, and I remember it was mainly in the cities. It was very predominant in Accra. Then I'm pretty sure, say maybe there might be something very similar in Kumasi as well. As to, I think these things are still things that are around. Most communities that are well organized, they tend to have these neighborhood watches that people patrol and just be each other's keeper in the context of things. So I don't see it as a new initiative. It's something which is already there. But again, you mentioned about the fact that people feel said they now need to help themselves in that sense. But who said that sometimes the issue with armed robbery, you can be very vigilant in identifying people who supposedly perhaps who does not belong within the communities, and you can figure them out very quickly. And of course, being very vigilant also helps you to prevent some of these crimes from happening. But again, it goes back to the issue that we started from the beginning. Say there are some responsibility which it lies in the hands of the state, and therefore the state should be the one that provides security for people. Because when you move the level of neighborhood watch into preventing armed robbery, it is very, very dangerous. You cannot expect the people within community, then therefore the only way they can do it is to arm themselves. Because if anyone comes in the community and they are armed, they're holding arms, and you still have a neighborhood watch, you really not can't be that effective, to fight against those sort of crime. So in that sense, I feel sorry for them. Said they have to basically, in a way, have to fight, on their own, so to say. But that tells you the breakdown that we are now at the level where people feel say, the help that we're looking for, we're not getting from the state, and therefore we need to be helping ourselves in that sense. So I guess maybe it can't work for them in a very small way, but I think the police need to support them in some kind of, even if you're not having people present, police force presence, there may be helping them with the security training, or how to perhaps maybe just be identifying people, and maybe these people, what they call them, the reactive first response, for them to know where they how they need to get first response to help them. Because I don't think
but don't you think
Yeah.
first response no from many touch
no, because what I'm saying is, you say when people have started helping themselves, right,
Yeah.
you now need to try and
and
support them. So I'm thinking, say, the police can take advantage of it as some kind of even a pilot system where the availability or the closeness to the police with the community. Because policing is about, you need people. You can have all the intelligence that you have, but you need a community to work with you for policing to work. So things like that can be, the beginning of some sort of partnership between the community and the police in trying to fight crime. Because if you do get members of the public supporting you, either being identifying people or picking people and realizing that someone who's not supposed to be in the community is there, or someone even being very suspicious, and you can straight away and get the police, engage the police in that manner. It's all part of the intelligence building and the helping of the police service. So it is a good thing, but I think say the effort that is needed for that, will have to come from the state. I think the state should provide more, for the community if this is going to work, because I can't see how they can be able to sustain something like that. People go to work, it's not sustainable, because community watches that we had in the past, some of them work from the beginning, they go to the point people become very fed up all the time with it, and then the whole system breaks down again. So that is where.
Yo, Tommy, I'm saying, Bismarck, and I'm senior or Kumasi, enjoy from Butu Energy online. So, hello, Bismarck.
Hello, Nanahemaa. I want to say,
Yamiadom, Brunicrum, or Himacrum, and ensure no top and Yasam Titua. I want home Kakra, so combined.
Then the over Ghana, they are quickly through Kumasi. The Bismarck say, we are born able. Yabasia. Now you want to bring, but see the area born able hasi.
You, yeah, that's it. We are not here because we are yasa. Name on a more serious note, a DNA cost this week. I'm saying both stories maybe so. Meaning so see at the beginning now. What is going on? Ewo Kumasi and Motemo. A DNA, what was sort of form no El Costo Ghana.
Nana, that's it. Oba Kumasi, Mitmaka say, Ashanti Regional. Mitmaka say, and some baby na Costo, and it's Namisa saying free. Yama memo or Mutan dear Ewo Bode. Now, Udim say a hormone, you 2 more few said about phase 2 of Kumasi Central Market project. No, ebe timi akoso ho. Na omutu omuno. Inse ke bia almost KSA KMA say omonko race course. Na race course no omaja ba bia bi ho no so omko ho no omko ton ade. Na omko na say according to say omde ho na ma force for no. Na force for no anko. Ana ye mama mo ton bayire bode ene amane ne adwene nyina ekotena ho. Omko tena pante na force for no ba say there bia ha ye dia. Nti ekoye atwuma mentwen kakra e wo ho. Ansa na apolitifoɔ bam. According to force for HS regional minister and a castle or more and what's now. And now one more time, so say, came me boss, and so more metanaho. Now, say, a fanemy union and commodity answered Uncle so a woman, answer a moment, the phone free, would the Central Market for no about 1 day or the next acquired mention. Now, I'm going to answer, there's still none and to me and Sipo. Into meaning, as you see, America say, dear, Yamama or Moton, by any nominal adrenal. Omuna say no motimi akwaje ho na omo eton ade e wo ho if also unum say K University we say Katanga Hall any University Hall no eno so ekoye ntokwa kakra bi ebi atwa mo tututu nkonya bi isa say no omo beto omo SRC week omo to omo SRC for aba no ni nyina so ankosi na enkwa no better exams omo bebe fi ana minister issue letter bi ba bonten say omo try exams ni wi a which is enura no omo obi an transkum ho obi an kofie ade nti a omo ya ntie se nkwa no try exams ni wi a eye Saturday twa mi ye no omo penche bi ebeke ka no ho wo skum ho nti nte ja mo obi an transkum ho obi an kofie ana ja nkwa no so de o say yoyo make say skum ho de e hwa ye di e hwa ye se samampo mu no a ye se obi an skum ho kra akoye apolisifoɔ any asutafo na school mu ho na mo hwe se de be ya
enti school ben na wo kan wase me school se wo kuma se nyina na se Ken University pe
Ken University Kwame Nkrumah Science and Technology School mu ho Ken University university no ana omo se ma obi an school obi se omo yan tie se omo show exams ni wi a enkwa no konti ene kakatanga ho no no penche bi bituma sama no so bi enti make say enkwa ne nya abafie. Now for the breaking news, not do not hear any more MMDCs, you know. When say they are mati, now if you check on some more things, maybe Oko through KMA and can it may you know what on or says to be empty, or may you nephew or the Sampine and Abahonum. na wonim sɛ dodo na so no tutu ni asɔkɔre mampɔ so na nka yɛ ɔnabo halidu de na ɔne muntaka ɛkɔkɔpere no ɔno so no ɔmayi na firi hɔ ana ɔmo de Kennedy nkankam a na nka kɔkɔpɛ nhyɛ so MP na wɔanya no ɔno mmom na ɔmo de ne ɛkɔ hɔ sɛ ɔno ɛnkɔkɔyɛ MCE ɛyɛ asɔkɔre mampɔ na anapɛ meyɛ kɔɔ bi kɔɔ hɔnom no ɛkyɛ sɛ zongofoɔ no sɛ ɛno deɛ ɛkɔsi ga because na nka ɔmo susu sɛ nka ɔmo de obi kramoni na nka bɛba na sɛ ɔmo de wei ba deɛ a ɛne ɛfɛn sɛ ɔmampanyin nyina yi na fi kyerɛ hɔ deɛ dodoɔ no ana bɛkeka mo ho ɛwɔ hɔ na ebiem so no wonim sɛ woba soame so ɔmo asesa ɔmo MC no ɔmo asesa no ana ɔmo de chairman Sabosu ne personal assistant na aba hɔ ɛyɛ ne Maxwell Ofosu Boakye ana ɔmo de na aba hɔ sɛ ɔmo bɛyɛ MCE ɛwɔ so am okɔ tetafo so a ɔmo asesa no okɔ mampɔnten so a ɔmo asesa no na gye sɛ menim sɛ fikyerɛ kwa deɛ ɛnsɛm bebree na ɛbɛba bɛtɛ bi sɛ wuru sɛ deɛ a saa deɛ na yɛ na yɛgyina assembly members no so ɛna ɛbɛtɔ dwom sɛ yɛpɛ no anaasɛ yɛmpɛ no ɛno so ɛde dodo na bɛyɛ duabɔ ne mentimo ho ase mmeka sɛ yɛsia no mentimo ho ase bi asɔre ɛwɔ tɛma a ɔmo so ɔmo so nipa na ɔmpanyin ne ba no ɔmo mpɛ no okɔ isi region so a ebi so asɔre wɔ hɔ gye sɛ menim sɛ deɛ fikyerɛ kwa deɛ dodo na ɔhema ɛbɛyɛ dwe ɛwɔ Ghana ha sɛ
Yo, Bismarck, yeah, that's a pa. Me say Accra Mayor Accra, our nomination, and so no. Say, and also who about Asama. Just a Ghana, or the for what's one butch walk. The basic be Mr. Rowe. That is what's up there, what the rabbit tree and name she young mate you for a walk. In this a butch money in crack kind of who is show a show up. Almost so any be at it. It's you better was
Nana mesome da sentie gutu egbebutu ase akokɔ a ɔtukosua no na de besi bia no pɛ na kɛ obati enka ɛwɔ abuchema mu hɔ no
yo Bismarck yeah that's etie for na musini Bismarck na owo Kumasi Angel FM and obutu o na dwuma ɔno na yɛte ne nka no same sɛ mame bra Mr. Emmanuel Ashley so before sɛ Bismarck bɛbɛ mu we are talking about the security ɛwɔ Ghana. And we're talking about, but me person me shifty kakra, still within the security, no. Okay, say, Takrade bring back our girls. Ebeye asem huya up to now, Korea call ye manho be a papa bi. Now what she idea have a children is a suspected kidnapper of a missing pregnant woman demand ransom. In himself, the same thing about a normal friend of his say brana, he said, where they still on him 9 months of grab or suspected kidnapper has demanded a ransom for a return of a 28-year-old pregnant woman who went missing in Takoradi on Thursday, September 16th. The year. Joseph Penny Mensah reportedly went missing after Josephine Penny Mensah reportedly went missing after going for a routine dawn walk on Thursday, September 16. Her husband, Paul Simon, reported the incident to the police and later said the mother had received a phone call from a suspected kidnapper demanding a ransom. The police in Takoradi has started investigation into the circumstance that led to the missing of the pregnant woman. The Western Regional Police Public Relations Officer Olivia Adiku has said the police were investigating to trace the whereabouts of Josephine. Ghana, in say at Tenefia, Aka, a yet security nonsense, Bibri. Na yenim bring back our girl Sakradi, say, yeah. Emma Canadian for being so bagan on the Anchakra and the who cramp or muko fear now you could your marenum a Adrian is also count. Yes, sir, pregnant woman, asking me, how do you feel about in terms of security? Remember, bear in mind, say, Che Biana Kumasi Konum, your coach headmaster BT, say, the Quack here drew, and Che Biana, Brand Savior, also a quantity surveyor. Or starting so kunkum for you man nipa nampai it's raining a biabasa if you want to try to free. Oshama mean in regards to bring up our girls ransom or DH for young. What's your initial reaction? What's your story?
Nana,
What's up, radio?
my heart really broke. Bra, me kind sad story, no. Nana, so we'll share a 9-month-old pregnant woman. There's somebody who, out of panic, I mean, say, "Be right now, baby, and what could happen to her?" Nana, it's heartbreaking. I'm just imagining if she's my sister, my wife, or my mother. Because 9 months, anything could happen anytime. Or a 28-year-old baby, I don't come, sir. Uncle Big my mother. Sammy, it's so heartbreaking for the husband. I just believe, and just sometimes me picture how the husband should feel now. But like okay, you know, it all borders on security. One my instances of normal SEC nini na no Uncle Siaga. Oh, my example of Canadians, someone they buy in your coy. Now the question I ask myself is, how effective is our intelligence? Nana, what I know, kakra okrum ha any say number a particular number has called, right? Police should be able to know from the mobile companies exactly what location the number called at a point in time, and focus the investigation on those areas. Because the map will show you exactly say, this particular place and it happened here. Nipa na so stupid enough to be feel a crown outside, but at least within the neighborhood of that area, no. Some focus investigation, I'll tell you, it's likely they might get a resolution to this matter. But the question is, Nana, yatisi will be afraid I'm robbers. I mean, I can't say petrol ni ho. Right? Omini petrol came, police for, right? See, omini petrol came. It has happened in the past. And I pray that Paris can change these things. I just pray. Because sincerely speaking, without the tools for you to do the work, no, as a leader, and also sometimes you struggle to get all these things done. Let's forget about potential corruption and, you know, lack of motivation, whatever that they get. But at the end of the day, I think we need some leader who will actually repose some confidence in our policing in Ghana. Same can say me on the issue of neighborhood watch committees near the organ. It has been there, but these things, right, are the source of intelligence for every place in the world. Internet they can say, in some more police you have no idea. When I'm crying out behavior a bit suspicious, I do have on the phone. Not free police. We not be for ordinary on share uniform or something. No monitor. Nana say, yeah, look, community watchdogs near the year. We are going to benefit a lot. But there is a big but. The big question is, how can this sort of anonymous person who reports a criminal to the police be safe if the police cannot be trusted? We have had instances of that nature where people know, say, a confront robbers in way, but they fear because sometimes the policemen themselves will betray them and they'll be killed. Right. So therefore, I think, say, Nana on Mpike and I boss as a time I hear lady say from yesterday to today. Because Obi are pregnant for 9 months. And I who can make me a man or something. Right. So only God and the bottom pie. But I will say, let's tell you, say the IGP has more in his hands. He started a good job. You are waiting for him. But I think he himself may have to get involved. Right? As the leader, Nankasano may have to get involved in Takrade. I'm not saying say he would do magic. But I think, just like you said, no, he's been the traffic with, traffic, whatever. It's actually emboldening the confidence of the police. But if you said this is something that's so getting involved with his skills, right? He was here in UK for a long time. Dampari was here, right? He was a teacher. He's a chartered accountant, yes. So, meaning very well. Meaning Dampari, yes. You see, so what happens is, Nana, if he will get himself involved personally to solve this very conundrum. I think it will bring a lot of confidence in his leadership. But I'll tell you, it's not easy. I'm just imagining what is happening to this woman at this present moment. Possibility, say be anything can happen, but we pray, say he's still alive. Now you sure how best we can reach her if she's alive.
Yo, Mr. Emmanuel Ashley, but I was it's here for before some massa me about when you said it must so be now. So your Senate now should be any program you bro. A time check at the moment is 6:12. Intimate anime who menu with Fiji and Kobia me compare Sikaka Korebi Namaba.
Casting advisory is what you need. Are you looking for business solutions that will serve your needs? Look no further, because Casting Advisory is all you need. Casting Advisory is a unique advisory firm that provides specialized solutions in tax and business planning, audit and assurance services, company secretarial services, corporate advisory, corporate training, tax policy advisory, charity registration and accounting, gift aid for churches and charitable organizations. Our understanding and industry experience provides a cutting-edge software solution tailor-made for your firm. Locate Castle Advisory in the UK, Suite 4, the Generator Business Center, 95 Miles Road, Meacham, Surrey, CR4 3FH, or call us in the UK on 020-840-81520 or 078-867-15702, or email us at info@castongroup.com. And in Ghana, locate Caston Advisory Suite 5, the first floor of the Zerka Plaza, Tetegu Junction, Southeast Ranger off the Kaswa Highway, or call 0249-700-075. Caston Advisory, the delivery of excellence redefined. Caston Advisory is what you need.
Trinity Driving School, your #1 driving school in the UK.
Did you know that they're equipped with professional driving instructors who will teach you to pass your test with ease?
So, if you want to pass your test, please look no further.
Contact Trinity Driving School on 07507 116997.
Trinity, safe and responsible driving.
Bema, assassino, a boy, a boy, and one.
Oh, yeah, this assassin, as a bomb,
Assassin, Oberpatu. A nipper, a pato, that's a winning set. When you have so better, Sawachi.
Yeah, Mammy, would you miss him? I won't come in. Yeah, we didn't come miss him. A moment and meet your work. Now, you can't have a sister. Kwaku. Yeah, me just assassin to CCL. Assassin the boss, man, me fat Unity Link money transfer. Yeah, commercial bank will come here. Miss Abba can see here.
Unity Link money transfer be the best. Unity Link money transfer. Okwan power bit me money si can't tell. I'm a wonderful Ghana fan engineer. Then head office 158160 Balam High Road, SW12 9BN. Website www.unitylink.com. And as a fraying with 020-877-22160.
Unity Link. What's the shoe?
You're listening to What's Up Radio, so keep it tuned and keep it cranked.
Your monthly 120 minutes of pure train.
I love you. When Nana put it up, ow!
Yo, it's here for time check. At the moment, it's 15 minutes past 6. You try on Kakrako Pesica by. If you just tune in, this is What's Up Radio, your #1 radio station in London. A year to Media was Sukusua with a awareness. I can't gana wholesome. Obesumi after a live on Facebook. I will type in What's Up Radio. Not just with the one no now also what joining in and also between me joining on YouTube now to me sharing and so before say about the commercial break. Now we're talking about the security in Ghana, and to be specific yeah any mention beer and bring back our girls and come to see baby and yes a toilet pit be manhole be you skeleton for science for ya going very because they as the DN was a day you share to some cray yeah the physical brain here from an physical now pussy was here babuamo and ye say yeah mamma for a drew baby cramp on the cry being craig and ankosihwe omo nyina wi yeti krom ha ya e na Canada fo bi abrofo bi a e ma bi a se so omo ho efe pa omo ka brofo omo ya race enye die ye kan yi bi omo bae omo die tumi e tracy omo ma je so omo tumi kom krom a omo fo omo hu di trotro ahwe yansi. Now this week, yes, stay and see us and papa. Sammy, what's your story? Pregnant woman, 9 months pregnant. Every cross every like Mr. Emmanuel actually can. It could be say wapon, it could be say wawo, it could be say wawo no chronic condition and the which circumstance and or the work. It could be so baby bleed, it could be so major blood pressure. There's so much that can go on. So you back it na pay or bow and I will takradi again, and I'm stressing takradi. Ghana security system, no, I know say yeah, posted phone one. Okay, community watch, whatever. Where are we? Are we safe?
Yeah, let me just say, you know, when you were, Mr. Ashley was talking on this specific topic, and I was trying to recollect some similar events that has happened in the past, perhaps not in the jurisdiction of Ghana. But just to take you back to that, I mean, I would like to perhaps, you know, if our family, you know, my thoughts will be with the family, you know, on this very difficult time for such an incident. I mean, it's a difficult thing to stomach for just an individual, but I mean, someone also who is pregnant as well. It will be even much more difficult to be able to accommodate that. And see, my thoughts will definitely be with the family. But I'll take you back. I think Mr. Ashley mentioned about the phone call that was made and that the tracking of the phone should be one of the priorities of the police. I am pretty sure said that this will be something that definitely the Ghana Police Service will be doing. As whether they have the resources that is required to do such a tracking system, very sophisticated, perhaps as the West might have. I don't think maybe our police service has developed to that sort of extent. But I would be very surprised and I'd say the whole police service in Ghana will not know, say, when a kidnapper, you know, calls the family, they wouldn't try and trace it or track the phone. I think it's something that they definitely will do. But now you see, these things, you know, with this sort of problem that we're having with the security system in Ghana, you know, the way to fight this, a lot of times, you know, and actually is where the intelligence building, you know, how capable your intelligence services are, and how you can be able to build those intelligence. But that's not the only thing that you need to fight. I mean, the community comes in, but now one of the difficulties, I'm sure, that the police service will face, and Ampare will be facing some of these challenges, you know, is about the fact that the digitization of our system, you know, hasn't been effectively done. I mean, in the sense that, for example, if I take the CCTV policing, but policing is now, it goes beyond the presence of the police in the communities and all of the first response I mentioned, but adding technology to policing, and it's an area that we haven't actually invested in. But the other time I saw on the news, one of the news programs where they were showing which something which suggests to me, or it seems to be a CCTV room of for the place where it's basically more of in the cities. But it was a very, it wasn't much. There was something there, but in Shedan Dawson, it felt like one of the shopping malls or more security room, if it makes sense. Like the CCTV monitors all over the place. People that basically, but you could see the sophistication that is needed to fight for policing. You know, we haven't got to that level, so it becomes quite difficult. Now, I may refer you, and this is why I'm saying, you know, this sort of intelligent building policing and adding technology to policing also helps. You know. If you remember some time back, you know, and this is a common thing, you know, in terms of kidnapping, murders, the West has its own fair share of these sort of problems. So it is not a problem which is only a Ghana issue. Criminality around this sort of crime is all over the world. America will probably tell you the record number of people that are murdered in America or even kidnapped in America. Even the UK will have its own fair share. The recent one, Tubekaya, Niesi or West London, Clapham, is a woman called Sarah Everett that was kidnapped, by a police personnel, a serving police officer, who obviously you know what the story is, and he was arrested. But you see, the speed at which the police managed to arrest him or to identify say he is basically the man is mainly the sort of policing that I'm basically referring to. Because if you don't have those sort of policing, the intelligence building, the digitization, the technology that is needed for policing, you find it become very, very challenging for the police to be able to apprehend these suspects as quickly as they should be apprehended. 2002 Zukai Ian Anthony, the school caretaker that kidnapped two girls, and for whatever reason, whatever he did to them, and he murdered them in addition, he was part of the people that were basically searching for the girls. And I mean, obviously, intelligent policing, they realized that this guy is taking too much keen interest in the search, asking police questions and all of it. I mean, at the end of it, he was eventually arrested and obviously he's in prison now. But I'm bringing these examples just to point the fact, we say, policing, the traditional way of policing, which we seem to be doing a lot of times, has moved on. And you need to now move on to a much more sophisticated way of policing, digitization, bringing technology to help you to fight crime. Because actually the tracking system of these phones, no matter how sophisticated the person can hide the phones, it is very easy to have a system that could even still know, okay, we might not know who was using the phone, but you might know at what area the person was. And then intelligent policing comes in, someone goes in the field, trying to, find out, did you hear or did you see someone strange around this neighborhood? All those things, and now we haven't got to that level. A lot of things I even think that the police know because sometimes they actually do solve crimes in Ghana. But ask yourself, at what technology or what facilities or what resources do they actually have to the level that is required to fight this sort of crime? Because last minute we can ask them about, these suicide, supposedly suicide that has been going on. Say, people almost show my come all the time. They come
Akonfo.
Yeah, no, not that.
The hanging. That's Akonfo. Yeah.
Akonfo, yeah. Okay, very fair enough. So, and this has been happening very, very frequently. It's happening all the time, and sometimes, with kids, and you hear family members saying that there was no reason for signing a panel to base. And I was basically looking into this story, and the sequence of it, is, of course, no one has been arrested here, but it does appear. It looks as if there is some kind of a deliberate act by someone, and this may just while making speculating say it could be. But what I'm saying is that, and that is why intelligent policing comes in. You now need to investigate this.
We have the CID.
You need to investigate this properly. This is it really suicide in the person? And now Obi is going around murdering people, a serial killer going around doing these sort of things, or because how it's just happening doing that. And this brings the case of Sir Bobodanfo now, Rollins time now, election time, and Okukuma, we are no your pants and pants no Japan table. And he became a political tool, ISI, and eventually, with the help of the FBI or something, the guy was apprehended. But what I'm saying basically is the police service, they need to now up their game. If some of these things are going to be, of course, maybe prevented might be difficult, but if it's not even prevented and it happens now, people will be apprehended very, very quickly without getting to the point where someone will be thrown into a well for us to go and do a DNA and before we can identify them for the family. I mean, I'm hoping, because our crime level in Ghana, in junior, the sort of crime that happens in the West, and can you imagine if we get to that stage and with all the, what we have in the loose ends that's happening now, how are we going to be able to fight this crime? The police service need a lot of resources. There has to be some injection of real money, finance funding to support the intelligent policing and make sure say things are put in place. Things they do have the things that are needed, to fight crime. If we need to have a special, crime
Unit.
CSI sort of, I'm sure they do. The police do have, but the point is that at what sophistication are they exactly in terms of the resources?
I don't know whether you heard about this week, yeah, so we still on kidnapping. USC, it's a young lady, we almost say is a QS lady. Why I say, say around Ginia, say those areas. Ubi a fan or Jamasa, say mammy, a fear Jama mea, you know, yes, yeah. Few hours later, why is it kind of free? Na counting, and this kind of kidnapping, no, coso. And besides, a brand say, I also ya quantity surveyor, Oku, including on one brother, Ojuchano, and in the safe region, this is Wakakotonam, butcher's house. And it is this kind of crimes like Sammy said, Mr. Ashley, my member also. Do you think, sir, Ghana, we've lost focus on that because when you say even a chrome halipon, and you do a refresher, then and your master son or name your most some covered by you say, and Juma they kind of changed their way of working and be more be more spending more time online, be more doing. Do you think, say Ghana, in terms of your fight and crime, any insecurity now, is it because I is so relaxed, say, to me say a developing country, so we are not pushing in much, whereas the robbers or the bad people or the bad guys, they are moving forward and if that's the case, where do you think Ghana in future, Mr. Ashley?
Nana, I'm saying some for crime, there always be crime. And serious matters like that, it has happened here. Historically, over years, and it continues going on even up to today until say, the policeman with the Metropolitan Police Corps has been arrested. But, mame, what it is, and it's we are a society, and I am saying, say, we need a police to help us, bring down these numbers, or at least, if at all, curtail it, but not for it to, skyrocket again in terms of numbers or currencies. But how can we do that? Doing that to be a teamwork between the society and the police. Same was looking at digital, whatever. If you improve the digital, presence, right? As CCTV, if you have a call baby 200 meters, your CCTV it will go a long way. He was talking of the center view here. I to say shopping center there back for a whole city, So when the resources, I think we need a president or a government that is committed to making sure, right? So he will resource the police adequately to be able to run centers like that within all the regional capitals, district capitals, possibly in terms of size, right? Say, district capital, you might not need too big a place, but a place like regional capitals and Accra, the national capital, you must have something quite sophisticated to help. But they say what we are facing now, we are all seeing, say yes, and Koni, because crimes in the country now, you see, we have people who just take pride in committing a crime for no reason. They mentally, that's how they are, right? It happened here. I think there was this taxi driver who killed so many people over years, right? So all these stories are going to come up, and that is life. In the past, sometimes if you are Ghana, you've had those experiences, but some radio didn't happen, maybe it didn't go out as we see it now. But don't forget, Accra is now a major cosmopolitan, right? Just like you have London here now. with variety of races, personalities, tribes, and whatever, all coming together. So the place has become so heated when it comes to crime. Say, I mean, foreigners near there from funny idea, you can never tell. And maybe point is where we are now, we have as a country be very, 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 specifically funded the police adequately. But what it is that the crime there, yes, it will be there, but see not that union or my friend unity among the citizenry. Any police now, I'll tell you, it will bring the crime rate down to a greater extent.
Mr. Emmanuel Ashley Medal was super. We're talking about security. Now let's move a little bit about cyber security. And yet this week, yes, even our reporter, Bismarck and Carano, exams now it's going ongoing. Ghana. Or see why KRSK operative behind the rogue website. The security operative of the West African Examination Council have picked up one Godfrey Daku alias Mr. Fresh, who is linked to the website purporting to leak question papers in the ongoing West African Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination. Fresh described as a rogue website operator and a campaign in the Jerusalem rogue WhatsApp group has been arrested at Kasua in the central region and handed over to the police. According to the source at WAEC, the security operatives are on the heels of other members of the Jerusalem Rogue Platform Group. The source named those being pursued by the security operative as Marcus and Gemina, Motive Marshall, and Sir Eben. The source told Graphic Online that the WASI or the YAEC security in the collaboration with the national security have been deployed throughout the country to fish out those involved in this unpatriotic act. And Nayaba, Asenia examination, YAEC, say me one, I'm going to show no matter exams, in master two questions, you don't want to say exams are leaky. You been 1 year exams are leaky. And every baby himself government and then now lose your top past questions among and the one story to be discovered. But to say, yet sir, a brand yeah, yet one and it didn't require a fresh Mr. Fresh. And leaky examination. Say, oh, sure, this year no Ghana no even Udo certificate Epa Wester. I say, Jim Crab because a brophonical say, Abia to say, and show me, Abia to chair, but yes, we said, no, a crown it's must say, majority of a crown, it's must say, a Benny candles, and what says our story? Mammy fan starting what Mr. Emmanuel Ashley, so again, now some of us are so what's his story, how did you, what was your initial reaction, and how did it make you feel as a Ghanaian? Ebia or baby Kahua, now Ebia or Pesu could actually be under the certificate of Ghana, no baby school of Muchini and Chuchi and this and a now go and certify or whatever about Ghana culture. How did you make you feel?
No, Medasi, it's a very sad story, but one good thing, and I'm happy say the so-called person or involved has been arrested. Nana, seriously, make those days your time now. Ohio TSC will be BAP somewhere around is there a disco at the time and stuff like that. Near the chemistry practicals. But some of these things, Oya said, but it makes you panic. Don't forget that. Therefore, we are taking a different angle to this. But if you are a child, just imagine, say, what's the idea not in the end, no, where this you know, why you're prepared. So topics I'll cover, I will say no. From your own analogy, no, a bit me about no, yes, you were pure baby, are being, be fan of. Crass, these are the issues. So there are all these possibilities. But Samia can one can where cyber security. How could this guy be able to reach the systems of the, your friend is saying, why and get information. Say when you the exact exam, or no air tongue or whatever, are you the seeker? But that is what some people are, that's how they are built. Their DNA is like for them to commit crime and make money. What it is in this context, they say, we can't know for now whether guy may be inside the bee, right? Be a whole fee, and now say he was able to break into the white systems. I mean, the security systems. That's right. And obtain information. That is a possibility. Possibility. Normally, but the key thing you have to look at is what is the impact on our educational system in the long run, in the eyes of other countries, even in the eyes of employers within the country. Because seriously, I've had people who will tell you, say, Charlie, what first class degree holder, when they share you must now trainer. I say, only
right. Mommy, I'm saying now for be online. Is hello caller? Hello, Colin. Pacho, what's your name? Hello, me Pacho, one and a free, and Yenton Papa, Pacho, tea and can. Yam said, number na, Colin, me Pacho friend me, 0796 1234 141 0796 1234 141. Say a line and boy papa. It's call me show me train corner 0796 1234 141 0796 1234 141. Not angels.
Yes, Nana. So the issue we have, say, employers how are they going to measure, the abilities of potential employees or potential job seekers? And this is a serious thing. I'm happy say national security regime with in consulting with the white or man security system. Now say you can a banner man tackle call then COVID time exams was internally awarded. The top universities has agreed. So on entrance exam. You see, because if you're at a certain level, you have a way of doing things. Therefore, sometimes you have your own doubts. Say some of these things are coming out. Now say, say, in a university or whatever, no try or buy or ban you don't know a honso de okunyapo. And I be out the certificate, which is the basics now they consider in any employment or any postgraduate studies or any overseas appointment. But then you know what you see on the certificate. So I think it is great. Say the security system has picked up this guy, and I pray say they should extend this very investigation better and get to the roots of this group. Then you can say, the other two people, no, yes, yeah, trans officer, but almost account crab, the various because for some time now, almost every year, we've been having this kind of leakage for the past few years, which is common. It's not good for educational system in the eyes of competitors around the world, competitors like the Western world and wherever you your master, your degree, say no matter about Nana MY as a pupil. Yeah.
Some my brow so radio because I decided to send about so later because we say it's within your domain as educationist. And so better akoradi meaning what you put a lot of effort and preparing children for examination and so you put so much pressure on them. Now obetie na say a pobia leaky and sometimes you to me console paper no as a paper no one sound cultural for and these kind of things you need senia kind of it kills the confidence of both and Quran especially any teacher for we still be at time. What's a story as said will be a child a day na and ma feel say in terms of say we teacher near If you watch radio Ghana, now watch radio Kumasi, if you Ghana, UK has said. Na ebia wo school na o certificate no minim se na wo school ko e ka say me certify and I say ye engine to and I say ko NARIC. How did it make you feel?
You know, let me say, I'm glad to say okay about NARIC because I just wanted to correct what you said earlier about since you mentioned that the qualification in Ghana, no, I mean, despite all the problems with the leakage and it is still a very much recognized abroad. In most of the universities, actually all of the universities, they do recognize that. Like okay, you have to get accreditation from NARIC, and then you will be allowed to use that. Obviously, the equivalent of what your qualification is. Not with the acquire. But then, you see the leakage issue. I mean, as you rightly said, it's not a new thing, But over the years, what I've actually seen, which the WAEC has in a way improved a bit from the past, is when they decided because you see there's a link between the leakage, and the way even the selection of the students to go to the secondary schools. It's here because in the past, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not happening now. It is still happening, but perhaps not the same, sort of tangent or the level of bribery where you need to know someone in a specific school for your son or daughter to actually be admission in that school. Yes, maybe this, but now they've moved a little bit now into the computer selection system, where it seems to be much more fairer. But yes, still is not the perfect. So you could see clearly, say, Wyke is actually trying to improve on that security. This specific individual, I'm just hoping that say he will be the same person that in the past, in the years past, that still upon all the security, that Bayek tried to put in place, there's still always a leakage every year. And I'm just hoping say it's actually the kingpin that is the jigsaw that is basically missing now. Say or Nuna or the main person or more causes a problem now. Because this cyber thing WAEC has been suffering from this for a very, very long time. In the past, it was more to do with people that work in the examinations office that were leaking the thing. Then they brought in all the technological changes to it and some kind of protection. So when I heard say it does it looks like more of a cyber security issue where someone maybe is hacking through the system and maybe getting what is very much a secret that has been around it. So I mean it's good, but is this going to be the end of it? And now we're gonna go into a different phase where more sophistication can because Nana Group examination league is not very common. Yeah, dear, throughout, I mean, there has been some time that there's a compromise around the way the exams have been sat in a specific school, or sometimes the way maybe the supposedly teachers have helped in a way. Those sort of things, it does happen, but it's rarely the case when say, yeah, when I say exam, yeah, Lake or baby, and a lot of people are getting access to it, and it's mainly because of the way they've actually built in the system, the security around it. So maybe with time, we will get to the point where it becomes almost an impossible thing to results.
What's up, radio?
And that's what gravity access to it because rightly so. Even the problem with this, is not even about say it's unfair, the unfairness of it, but the people that are getting it, if they are not clever enough and they've actually gone and get it and pass it, then they go to university or secondary school or wherever, and then the non-performance of the country. So they're taking someone's, chance that the person probably who genuinely should have been there, the person will not be able to get it. So there is good national security is involved, cracking down on some of these things, and hopefully, we will get these things resolved. I don't think it will be eliminated 100% because the system itself is corrupt. So the difficulty of actually eliminating 100% means the systemic failures now you want has to be changed. So, for example, will be is corrupt now. That person needs to be stop being corrupt. So that when the opportunity comes, that is where they take advantage of the opportunity that basically is created. Then they end up selling these papers. I will be surprised that within perhaps this short period of time, if let's say next year portray exam, probably a period already. I'll be very surprised to say this. But hey, look, it's a good one.
Yo, Tommy, thank you very much. I'm saying, I'm saying, market friend. One of the areas I'll touch on was a year MCs, a year Akufo-Addo ni nominees or the other. Now this week, you'll be more information next week. And by next week, dear, not just a home for Nino, we have a clearer picture. But what has happened is I'll say Accra Mayor nomination protest. Police halt disco arrest 4 ringleaders. Now, all kind of story now. I'll see a police statement released last Saturday said the quartet had been arrested for allegedly causing public disorder at Jamestown in Accra. The police said had led sorts of people to block a road in Jamestown by burning car tires, causing further fear and panic. And you didn't say some part of Ghana. Now, what the national security has issued this week, the national security coordinator has issued security alert to all security councils across the nation ahead of the announcement of a metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executive alerts captured in the form of a memo has a subject anticipating of possible violence ahead of the announcement of MMDCES. It was issued on Thursday, September the 16th, to chair the Regional Security Council, Municipal Security Council, and the District Security Councils. There are indications of possible clashes ahead of announcement of MMCES in the part of the country. It stated the REGCS and the MUSEC and the DICEC are hereby urged to be a high alert to preempt breach of peace in a respective areas. It's the idea we about so the about alerts. And I also protest the Ecoso and Ghana. Now who said it kind of cut across the nation. It looks as if said nominations near the Banner district and their assemblies in Penophonia, Kofobebre and Ebon Joy. And now share, and this is way I think one Masha saying how does it make you feel in the sitting government, say are they becoming unpopular now? Let's forget about what has happened in the past. So what Akufo-Addo has said with one district, one factory, one teacher, one laptop, all that. That's a separate issue. But with CCR and I don't know whether you guys have seen it.
Yeah.
I do you think, say, this sitting government, this issue now all making is it because CCR kind of losing confidence in the administration of Akufo-Addo?
And this has nothing to do with the new patriotic party. It's a constitutional requirement. So this thing happens, and therefore what is happening is within the mandate of what is expected for the president to basically appoint. But now you see, there was this debate that we had earlier, some time back, if you remember, Mr. Ashley, about whether the MMDCs should be
appointed or elected.
And we had these serious debates here about the balance between that. And I remember quite well saying some of the difficulties that we got these sort of jobs, is what we refer to as job for the boys. When people that follow the politicians, now this is when they'll start, getting the benefit and out of that. And therefore it becomes very, very competitive. Competitive not because competitive as a national competition, but as a political competition. And therefore it creates some of
that
this.
still not be the case, even if it's kind of something you need to elect? Because
Yeah, but then when you do election, it's not non-political in nature. So individual persons can decide to go and stand rather than a political party sanctioning it or bringing themselves, because that is when it brings the conflict. Because there's a position when you control the municipal area or the district area, you are working, obviously, the president can exactly implement his policies. So therefore, politicians don't want someone who doesn't come from where they think their inclinations are to be the administrative. So the problems is going to continue. We're going to have this serious problem because it is a job for the boys. And job for the boys which has to be, fought upon and say, this is who is entitled to it and who is not the person entitled in the community. Some people are not very popular in the community. The community might say we don't want. But if the community had the chance to vote who they want to be the administrative executive or district executive, some of these problems, I believe, say, it will be less of an issue of in terms of the fighting that goes around it than what we are facing now, because it's not going to go away. You're going to have these problems. I mean, I'm very glad that the police has said that the national security coordinator has said they are putting the country on alert. Because there's going to be a lot of violence. You will see. This is the beginning crowd of the sort of violence that you're going to see, and there will be the political party fighting each other. For basically the coins now. They are fighting each other for that. And it's unfortunate, but this is where we are, the sort of politics that we have. I think, the national council system yes, it is very much political in a way because the councillors, they are political appointed, but at least there's some sort of election that goes on in some of this. And I think, I'm not saying that I'm saying that everything that the West does is basically correct, and I say we should follow it exactly. But you will see, it's a problems is creating problems like that now. Maybe it's about time we need to now start considering. Should we now look at changing that part of it to make it more election than an appointment from the president?
Mr. Emmanuel Ashley, this year, this year election, I know said list the number. Is there any surprises? And they say a bed jump gun because we said this week, reaction be prepared. But Ghana for reaction in Accra, some part of Kumasi, Temani, all those areas, Do you think, are there any surprises for you, Anna, in the list that you've seen so far?
Mommy, I'm saying, there have been surprises. But what it is, I'm saying, Sammy, I can say, the way our system, appointing microphone has been the problem. And don't forget, the situation is, you are appointing a leader to go and lead a particular political area. And the people there don't like that person, and you are forcing the person on them, right? Because you are the president, you have the power to appoint. So, Nana, I think that is what Samir can share a way of revising, because seriously, there has never been such an extent of a volatile appointment than we are seeing today. Ochina, I'm saying, let's about Ochina. Why should national security give all dissects? Right, all regional securities, all municipal security councils, alert, said they should be on their guard. That means we've done something that is wrong. Why don't we go back and rather correct them? Right. In fact, the committee feels say on the boa. What is all about that? That's why we re-elect president or push them away and get another president in our political systems. But why say Saban say MBCC, DC, whatever in there, and I will say near me pen nesiho, more for my president. It did me pen am the mamo. And I think that is what we are going to see from tomorrow. And seriously, say a year 1 or 2 places alone, I only have a problem. But here we are talking of almost the whole country. From what we are seeing now, it looks like almost the whole. In fact, the MMCs, majority of them. Come to DCs, majority of them. Well, these are the things. I mean, say President Ekoba now review and Parliament. In this case, I would say Parliament has the biggest responsibility to make sure that they revisit this very act in the Constitution. Right. Say, ABR going forward, I won't say ABR and but they must learn lessons from this and look at whether they can review the laws on the way of appointing DCs and MCCs or electing them or whatever. No, a better way. Because Nana, you know what? This alert, the police service, we have armed robbers, we are fighting them. We have kidnappers here, but political ones, no, into all resources will be geared towards that. Into Mamia Americans is here or painful years me probably is here not just a back burner. And this is a life. But police need aim to me anyway, because IGP and as a president my instruction, right, from national security, say Ubianya alert, say in Tokobesi Ochna, a man for a demonstration, I'm on stop into that's where the focus is. And that's why I think we are getting it wrong. So I will urge Parliament to tread cautiously on this matter and look at whether there is the need for us to revise that part of the Constitution or whatever possibility. I know the Constitution is not easy for them to entrench part of it. It's not easy for them, but at least they can have a way, say, a referendum on some part of it.
Yeah, but Parliament can, the President can initiate, the Parliament obviously have to debate about, bring a bill to Parliament, then they look at whether, this one is just a issue of amendment. You don't have to change the whole of the Constitution.
That's the point, but there are some entrenched part of the Constitution has to be by referendum. Which means a sacra has to be by referendum. So Parliament, and American Parliament, it will shame ye. Now someone say, oh no, we create a problem. I think then they can bring it up and propose to government so that we can have a referendum. Say in Ajitum, so as a country, the person they elected. Everyone saying you're on political, that's MDC, DCE, then we go that way because in fact, and it's a bit alarming because it's across the country to a great extent from what we've read. Almost all the regional capitals now has that problem. Majority of district capitals is also the same problem. So that tells you say it's kind of national matter. I am sure a bit hard drink a
it's here for our time check to see our time now every Kumabi pet 1 minute night time not so. But I don't want us to finish this story without paying a large respect to two prominent people who's contributed their quota to the country. Mami Amma Beniwa Joy, a former central regional minister, so Wakabebi, and the papa a yokoshe. A war a showbiz one. Now those time, now on Magana for Yenichipa, don't say what can't time on the dear. Ne drew Questia Dana or Sofo Dazi, a drewer. No crash on my wow. It's drama. It was
drama. Yeah.
So it was Sunday.
On Sundays, yeah.
It was Sundays.
I thought country is like Mr. Miller somewhere.
No. It wasn't a showcase.
Saturday.
It wasn't showcase. It wasn't showcase. It was.
It was a drama.
Yeah. What group was he in then?
I can't actually remember, but
is it not Obra?
Obra or one of those? Yes.
It's not in Obra, was it?
It wasn't Obra.
Yeah, it's later on, and those who said Dachi or
a few other came out. Others came out. You're right.
They started earlier. Yeah. Because they had their also.
He was with the APC and all those. That's
so that's more yeah.
I think they were Dachi or something like. I can't actually remember. It's here for so new man. I just how to how my quality and we did a little bit of a history and with them here to make a Kebako, a central regional minister. And during that time, where people and would say, what do you remember about Koshe and Yamami?
I mean, Koshe will make you laugh. We were kids around that time, but you saw, see the humor and in most of his jokes and the way he even talk. I mean, the man his personality is just funny.
Himself and this guy Wachi, they put up babies.
When you just see his face, you just gonna laugh. He has this funny face, he should be the one being called funny face. But he's such a good actor. It's unfortunate those times let's can't share their name. You know, Kosher and all of
Super OD and all those people.
They were more very entertaining, but the reward in the financial part,
Nothing yet.
They didn't really get just the recognition of the artists that they are. And that is all about it, you know. If I can even go back.
Is there a particular?
I can't. I can probably it's very long time ago, so I can remember some small, you know, here and there, but I just can't pin one specific as be a year. I think there was one that Bokusi also with a trade or something like that. I can't remember this one.
No, that would be Kwesi Tree. I told you so. I told you so. Kwesi Tree.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's a lot, but he's such a good actor. You know, he had a great sense of humor. You know,
Mr. Before you move on, I'm going to call Mr. Imaso. Kohe, what do you remember during that time? What can you say about Kohe?
I won't say too much about Kohe as a person, but my memories of those days. Now, was that black and white TV? No, color TV, but. Now, me can say there was this man from Lebanon, no, color TV by a fee. Where I live in Takrade, Takrade, it was a tall story building, 4-story, into different people in different flats. Nah, Kakosha and Baba, or say Unyari, a crown, a prunage when you won't cut them. But he's in at the door, was a thief, no, and you on the granny windows, you know, and the country in our shady and the Kaimi. Charlie, that's what it is. But realistically, Nana, I think the artists of those generations, they were unique. It's unfortunate, say, in fact, Omina, say, died as paupers to a greater extent, right? But they were so talented. Omoya Adiema Ghana. I mean, that, you know, and one beautiful thing I pay was those times, Omoya, you know, say, everyone teaches a moral lesson. In fact, it shaped our morality to a greater extent, right? It shaped our morality to a larger extent. But me 20 years, but me here sometimes it shape and say, wow. So half me here, I can't say, baby, I saw for that especially. Or bano betuno for us, or no be there. Or for the ban exactly. That is the thing. That moral lesson they taught us, I think, has shaped us out to today. But let's come to Amma Benyuado. I'm saying,
before that, no, Kohe last interview, before say the last interview, Jansen interview, and one of the things I'm saying, Baba Ko also and the first wife, and one thing that the body question will Mako 11. Nanahemaa many can say me is interesting. So some would love that. My many say or your fancy Kohe wife. Also. Besides, if I'm not interviewing, so now you see go for the job for the Omupema. Oh, wait, meaning there always now up here, now mamma, and the ma. No,
well, I mean, if you look at it, there are no financial rewards, you might as well get a social reward.
That's right.
So I guess also the benefit.
It's also going away,
consolation. Yes, Mama Benyuado. In fact, I cherish her, how she jumped into Ghanaian politics with the NDC at the time, and his eloquence and sort of female empowerment at the time, because at the time, not ma person out. I call, you know, she can't say be near bed can't say now yes, but she came with that boldness. Me kai Uncle Kroko those days, ne bro for those names and the bro for yet too strong. It's not tree, you know, and I know to me pa. So yeah, it's fancy to what trap Kroko no shot so ye factor. She was strong, and I think it's at the way of making later on people like I know a year later, no me a shy so more, and I think that role she maintained, she played. No, yes, went a long way, because at the time, I say the only person he had was Nana Kunedu as you know a women champion, and also because of the husband, he can't go to radio station and talk that much. In terms of he facilitated that ability to make women feel relevant in politics. That's one great now. And she paid her dues, and she became, I think, a council of state member as well. Yeah, eventually. So she's done her best, and then he bid her farewell.
Not much I can add to me, actually. I remember when I do PNDC at Santo. She was basically. I remember the funny red hat that she was having. The 31st December movement, because she was basically representing the central region. So some of the dedication that was the 31st December movement were basically the information that we put in communities. She was she stood for the central region basically in the context of that. So the chief girl child education. She's there, So I wasn't surprised she found herself. I think she worked in the social welfare. She became
she's a social welfare minister. I think sure.
And Benyuando, she's an astute politician, very clever. You cannot survive in Ghana politics. For how long that woman survived, being in not only just being in the politics, but being in administration, being in as a minister, as a secretary, PNDC era, and all of that. So she's done well for herself, But people like that, the only thing sometimes that I feel bad for is that the legacy is not only about what you left, but what did you write and left in the legacy. And did they write books? Did they write? People can only learn from them. Because when you're gone, you're gone. But if you don't have things documented properly, I don't want someone to come and write history for Benyuando. Benyuando should write their own
autobiography.
And sometimes this is some of the difficulty that I have. Our politicians don't seem to write, and PBOB, I don't know how many books PBOB had.
I think I think the only person who wrote books is Kwame Nkrumah so far, and Rollins was trying to do it till he died.
Prime Minister of Ghana. The man was the man that was basically running the country. But I can't see much books about PVOB. I don't know if he has, which I don't know. But you see, that's one of the problems that we have. They come in the system, very good politicians, and when they go, you can't get anything from them. And you can remember them, but when you're calling our generations come, they wouldn't know who PVOB is unless someone writes about PVOB. So sometimes the disadvantage of these things, is unfortunate, but they need to begin writing. You don't have to be the one writing.
You just tell the story. There are publishers there.
The publishers there. Editors
they want business.
They'll do all this thing for you. And then you document them.
It's here for sister Nida. So young, pity. Had did you make any time near the crime and also a yearly producer. Our next program, not mainly to show some inspirational hour at the Baby Wheels this year. Our time check is 9:07. Now, this week here and some proposal and that program you look here. As this is the Holy Spirit, they've departed from the pastors. And since I won't walk on and enjoy a shop while making sure the IGP now will be Holy Spirit in the same channel. Would you guys over? Then from there, we looked at Bruno is a task force, 6 year almost fighting armed robbery. Then we look at the kidnap cases that air cost so Ghana, especially in Takoradi, to the extent that Oba Pemfo on 9 months. Omu ayama asem eya tradition. Ye fru on you KCM of Ramri, Omu exams, a wire to 4, a guru, no call interest, no matter no tabu, ya no maton, so exams papers lady can see that guru no. Now be the chief for me, you don't want to come on a whole summer bunny the bed. Ye fru hot while when may NC penny for medicine, a district assembly. And if what Bani Sigan about there, I said, their best man, because you could see their friend, but not cut a man and crying, the pressures with the assist. The question is, do we need to nominate these people or we need to put it into the election? And they say, I some said, it's next time. I mean, so won't be Nanahemaa. From there, you restoring with a yet 2 veterans and now watch him or me from a year coffee out Ghana. You go for blood pressure, echo for me. a quiet mamma, ama Beniwa Joe, or no so am I women empowerment our Ghana. And then Nanahemaa, Miss Manya, or they are radio shaman, look at it, make us say, may God give them rest in his bosom. It is a one thing in Kebi Madison, or better in Kebi Midian and Nanahemaa. Bye bye.